last time out, Body returned to the points. Now it was time for him to continue that regained momentum as Formula 1 heads to the Hungaroring. So Buddy heads to the Hungaroring in a reasonable mood, even though he's partly worried that this could be his last race with the impending rehearing when it comes to the court case, where the Buddy has won that case that his dad has put against him. But onto the race in hand, Renault have brought some updates to this race in the hope to compete with their rivals on the development front. And in practice it seemed that the upgrades were working. Buddy showed good pace, but somehow that pace disappeared come qualifying, and Buddy once again failed to make Q3. So, it was time for the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 12 of this season. It was going to be an interesting one, but it was going to be a tough one for Buddy, considering starting in the middle of the pack on a track that's hard to overtake on. It's fairly sunny right now, but there is a chance of rain later on in the race, which is going to cause... Buddy's certainly not going to like the sound of that, to say the least. It's going to cause quite a few upsets if that happens. But as you can see, right now it's sunny, and right now all the minds are on the start of the race. It's a long run down to the first corner, so it's going to be interesting, especially if you're starting in the middle of the pack. So, looking at the starting grid for this race. Now, obviously in a dry session, the grid is not as mixed up for this race. So, on pole position you have Kimi Raikkonen ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who lines up in second on the grid in the Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton lines up in third ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who lines from fourth. Max Verstappen lines up in fifth ahead of Valtteri Bottas in sixth. Kevin Magnussen in seventh and Carlos Sainz in eighth. Romain Grosjean lines up in ninth with Sergio Perez rounding out the top 10. Esteban Ocon will start in 11th ahead of Fernando Alonso, Buddy Simpson and Stoffel Van Dorn. Charles Leclerc starts in 15th ahead of Marcus Ericsson, Brendan Hartley, Lance Stroll, Sergei Sorokin, whilst Pierre Gasly starts at the back of the grid due to an engine penalty. So, moving on to the formation lap, and Buddy is rounding the final corner, starting in 13th. He needed to make a good start here, because obviously it's a very tough track to overtake on, and he's also using quite an old engine, so power output is down for Buddy. But he had to do this, because obviously he has no fresh engines, and he doesn't want to serve an engine penalty on this track. He wants to serve the engine penalty on a track where you can overtake on. The next two tracks serve that purpose. As you can see, we have the lights in Hungary. Lights out, away we go. Buddy doesn't get a great start. He oversteers quite a lot and there's a little bit of contact. Buddy just did not get the bite in the clutch there. Now heading in towards the first corner. He's going down the inside though, and he has made multiple moves stick, so he made up for his bad start, and he's up into 12th, one position up on where he started. Now heading into turn 2, as you can see, he's right behind the Haas of Romain Grosjean, but he made not a great start, but he was able to make up positions at turn 1. Excellent start, buddy. Now just find the groove and don't let anyone past you. You're going longer than them, don't forget. Obviously on the soft compound tyres, as you can see, he's going longer, so he's not going to be surprised if all these cars like have more pace. As you can see, there's a slow up ahead, and as you can see, Buddy's trying to find a way around the outside of Grosjean. As you can see, down the inside goes Alonso, but he gets down the inside of Grosjean, and then Buddy's able to defend from Alonso. So Buddy has made up another position in all of that. But as you can see, he's struggling for straight on speed here and is really under pressure. Guys, why did you put this engine in? It's absolute horse. Buddy referring to the fact they put an old engine in. But as you can see, Ocon ahead makes a mistake. Buddy goes round the outside, but he's been hit from behind. And he slides into Ocon. He actually makes a position, but he's not happy about that. What the f***? I did not move across. Had I left any more space, I would be on the grass. Buddy does have a point there. As you can see, there wasn't really much Buddy could have done about that. And surprisingly, he was allowed to keep the position. Obviously, sliding across the grass, there wasn't really much he could do. As you can see, down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but even with DRS, he wasn't really catching. Okay, Buddy, if the car is feeling understeer because we do have front-wing damage from that incident. Buddy's engineer pointing that out. It wasn't much damage, and there were no obvious effects initially because he wasn't in dirty air and busting cars on the ultra. But as you can see, the safety car is out, and that's actually because Carlos Sainz has had a puncture and spread tyre debris all over the track. So we have a safety car. Box this up. We're going to stop, and then we'll do 2 ultra stints at the end. Obviously, his engineer telling him the plan. This does actually help Buddy quite a lot, because as mentioned, he can now actually easily do 2 ultra soft stints at the end, providing it doesn't rain, which wasn't easy before. He was having to manage the tyres during the first stint a bit, because he was trying to extend the life so he could do 2 ultra soft stints, but he's back out onto the track, and he rejoins in P11 behind the likes of Verstappen and Hartley. Now moving on to lap 21, as you can see, the safety car is about to come in. But now here, Buddy was starting to really feel the effects of his damage from wing. As you can see, he was understeering a lot, and with his lack of straight on speed, as you can see, Sergio Perez is right behind. Now he goes to the inside at turn 1. He defends the position, but he was not happy with how the car was feeling. Guys, I'm really struggling. The car is handling like horse in the dirty air. The engine has no power. I can barely close on Hartley, even with DRS. Honestly, do something. Otherwise, I'm going to finish outside the point. This is absolute crap. As Buddy mentioned there, he was really struggling for pace in this phase of the race, and that was because of what he mentioned. But as you can see, after spending many laps stuck behind Hartley, Hartley made a mistake and he's through. Thanks for that. And then things would get better for him. Everyone ahead pitted for the ultra softs, but then it started raining. And as Buddy hadn't made his pit stop for the ultra soft, he could go straight to the inters and gain a load of positions. Yep, definitely inters weather now. Okay, stop. Not everyone pitted at the end of the lap. It wasn't quite clear to everyone if it was the right time to pit. As you can see, Buddy coming into the pits, he is understeering quite a lot. As you can see, he'll be going to the intermediate tyres for this race, and as you can see, DRS has been disabled. That's going to help him, because that means that he's no longer going to struggle against the cars that have DRS. As you can see, he exits the pits. And he releases the limiter. He rejoins in P8, but he gained a load of time because many cars ahead stayed out too long and tiptoed their way around, which gained Buddy quite a lot of positions, and Buddy was up into 4th ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, but Daniel Ricciardo was bearing down on him, and it was going to be a tough task to fend off the Red Bull at the end. But without the DRS advantage, Buddy was able to stand his ground pretty much every lap to fend off the Red Bull. Still, he had to put up quite a fight, obviously with the aggression that Daniel Ricciardo often exhibits. But as you can see, Buddy rounds the final corner. Who would have thought mid-race that despite his lack of power and the understeer he was dealing with, that Buddy would cross the line to finish in P4.
Great race, Buddy. Maybe the weather gods are now on our side.
Yep, for once the weather works in my favour.
So, Buddy takes a season-best 4th place. And this result actually really helps Renault in the Constructors' Championship. As you can see, Sebastian Vettel it is who won the race. But Renault are now ahead of Haas in the Constructors' Championship. Buddy's still in P8. So, a good day for Buddy in the end. And you think Daniel Ricciardo, don't know why he's celebrating despite finishing behind Buddy. So, Buddy was celebrating for now, but things were about to come serious, as Buddy now had a court case to win. He now had to fly back to Indianapolis. Originally, the court ruled that Buddy had ignored a contract he had apparently signed for Bobby Simpson Racing in IndyCar, but he, with the help of Jonathan, made the case that he was tricked into signing it by disguising the contract. Question was, would he win the case or would he lose and be forced to abide by that Bobby Simpson Racing contract?
Whatever this is, we need to be quick. We've got some testing to do.
No, I didn't sign the contract. You clearly fooled me into it.
Quiet, everyone.
No, I'm telling you, he signed the contract.
We have analyzed the case and spoken to the representatives of both Bobby Simpson and Buddy Simpson respectively. We can conclude Bobby Simpson disguised the contract in such a way that would lure Buddy Simpson into signing something he did not approve of. Therefore, the charges on Buddy Simpson will be withdrawn and he doesn't have to abide by the contract. Bobby Simpson, you will be fined $3 million and will receive a formal warning for unlawfully luring an individual into signing a contract they didn't want to. $1 million will go back to the Renault team for luring him out of his existing contract.
That's bullshit.
The decision is final.
That's bullshit.
Sorry, Bobby, but the evidence is here.
Well, that teaches you a lesson never to forge contracts.
You are going to regret the day you got your father fined.
See, I'm my own person and I can race wherever I want.
Just you wait. I'm going to come up with a plan. You're going to be an IndyCar.
Love to see you try.
You will regret the day you ever got your father fined $1 million.